Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Full Court Press Basketball Debate, March 24th, 2015. We've been gone for a little while. People have been sick, people have been busy, but we're back on schedule. A lot to talk about today. A lot of stuff has gone down. We're going to address some stuff from last week, some old news, give our thoughts about it, like Kyrie Irving's big game and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about last night's games. We're going to talk about the MVP race, some quotes, the usual stuff. Very interesting debate. Thank you for joining us. We start with last night's games. Chris Guyette here with Yvonne Juneau. Golden State smothers Washington to a 31-point blowout. Yvonne, what, if anything, does this game prove to you?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, hello to everybody out there. I'm the reason that we missed a week. As far as I'm concerned, this doesn't prove anything to me about Golden State because we already knew Golden State could handle the ball. We already knew that Golden State was a very good team. They wouldn't be number one if they would not be a good team. What this proves to me beyond a shadow of a doubt is that every time I have to get ready to make my picks, if it's anybody playing Washington, I have to ask myself, do I bet on Washington or not?
Right.
Because what Washington team are we going to get? Are they going to play? Are they going to show up? If they do show up, how well is their play going to be? Are they going to be consistent? This has got to be the most frustrating. They are so inconsistent that, I mean, it really makes you stop and ask yourself and be hesitant. Now, when it was time for me to pick Washington and Golden State between the two, I didn't hesitate for a moment to pick Golden State. My number one reason is because they are number one and number two. It was an at-home game. Come on. Okay? And the way that their record's been running lately. But if it comes down to it, to where Washington is going to play a team that's borderline or has almost as much inconsistency as Washington's having right now, I want to root for Washington mainly for one reason, because one of my favorites is on the team. It's hard to go against Paul Pierce. It really is. But you don't know what they're going to do. So when they get matched up against people that are middle of the road or people that it could go either way, it makes you want to lean towards the other team because you don't know what Washington's going to do. So as far as I'm concerned, to this number one question you have for me, it tells me very little about Golden State because we already know Golden State's good. Okay? It tells me a lot about Washington. Now, I'm going to turn this around on you. First question. What is this going to do? Do you think there's any possible chance that Washington could make it to the playoffs? And if they do, is everybody else going to sit down and Paul Pierce is going to run the court by himself?
Well, here's the thing, okay? Washington's in the playoffs. Okay, the East is so bad. Washington's still in fifth. Okay, the East is so bad.
Which is one of the reasons I wish the Pelicans were in the East.
They should be in the East.
Yes.
But Washington is so bad. Washington's so bad. Sorry about that. The East is so bad that Washington, with as bad as they've been doing lately, is still fifth.
Still has a place.
Okay? They're going to be in the playoffs. Okay? Here's where I'm inclined to agree but disagree with you. I don't think that the best player on this team this season has been Paul Pierce. I think that the best player has been John Wall, by far. Okay, so I don't think it's much about everybody sitting down and Paul Pierce running the floor. Here's the thing. When you get to the playoffs, there are certain people that you come to rely upon. There are certain people that have a history of in big game situations being able to step up and turn the proverbial switch. One of those guys is Paul Pierce. You know, look at 08 and 09.
I'm going to quote you. He's got the age. He's got the experience.
He's got everything you need.
He's got the knowledge.
He's Paul Pierce.
He's got the basketball IQ. He should be their mentor.
And he is. And he is.
Well, the mentoring skills are falling by the wayside.
Maybe not. Maybe it's not on Pierce's mentoring skills. Maybe it needs to be more than mentoring. Maybe he needs to take over a game here or there. Maybe John Wall needs to say, okay, I'm not the scorer, the natural-born scorer that Paul Pierce is.
This is the same situation with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul.
No, it is not.
No, I'm talking about the mindset. I'm not talking about the playing ability.
But I don't think it goes hand in hand because Chris Paul is a better scorer than Blake Griffin. Right. John Wall is not a better scorer than Paul Pierce, natural born. Okay?
No, Paul Pierce is.
Right.
So Paul Pierce should take over.
Right.
But that's what I'm telling you. There's a correlation
the ball starts in Chris Paul's hands.
I know that.
The ball starts in John Wall's hands. So Wall needs to come to the decision, okay, I'm 5 for 20.
Do we want to win some games?
I'm 5 for 20. Let me give it up.
Yeah.
Here's what last night's game proved to me.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you again, but do we have an ego problem there? Do you think Wall is the type that to win a game, do you think he would give it up to Paul?
I think he would.
Well, then nobody's making that request.
I mean, he leads the league in assists. He's a very willing passer. It's just a guy used that word. It's situational with point guards.
All right.
Here's what last night's game proved to me. I'm inclined to agree with you 95% that it did show me a lot more about Washington than it did Golden State.
Oh my God.
But Washington came into this game 7th in the league. Again, 7th in the league in team field goal percentage. How well they shoot from the floor. Okay? They get good shots. They have athletes on their team. They have two good big guys in Nene and Gortat inside. They have a good bench. They get good shots. They get open shots, and they knock those open shots down.
Right.
7th in the league in team field goal percentage. Last night, they shot 27 of 81.
That's ridiculous.
That is good for 32%.
That's ridiculous.
Now tell me, does that show more about Washington? Or does that show you that Golden State is turning into a good defensive team? I'm inclined to say
that's true too.
That there has been some overlooking.
Some growth
been
maybe.
Done.
Yeah.
You get so caught up in Stephen Curry's highlights offensively,
that
as you should, because he is a more adept offensive player. Okay? That of course he is. But you got guys like Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala and guys that pride themselves on the defensive end of the floor that are getting overlooked because of Curry and Klay Thompson. This team is 3rd in defensive efficiency this year.
And Klay's not even playing right now.
He came back last night. Played limited minutes.
I was about to say, he must not have been on the floor for long.
Came back,
I don't
played
mean to
limited
break your
minutes.
train of thought, but I wrote this down on my fact sheet last night. I don't know if you're even aware of this because I don't even know how much of the Washington Golden State game you watched.
Pretty much all of it.
Okay. Do you realize that in the entire 3rd quarter, neither side made a basket or put points up until there was 1.03 minutes left in the quarter?
That shows that...
That shows they were going tit for tat, honey.
It's defense.
Yeah.
It's defense. And we know,
which lends credibility to what you were just saying.
And we know, but we knew about Washington's defense. We knew that John Wall and Bradley Beal were good offensively and defensively.
I understand that, but they ran that ball up and down the court.
What people are overlooking is that Golden State...
No baskets made for almost an entire third quarter?
Golden State is third in the league in team defensive efficiency. That is baffling to most people. Because you look at Golden State and you see Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And you look, oh my God, this team puts up 110 a game. How do you stop that? But that not only can they do that, they can stop you.
Yeah.
That's what this game proved to me last night, is that Golden State is not to be taken lightly from a defensive standpoint.
So in other words, they're deeper than you think they are.
Well, they're more defensive.
Right.
They're not just all offense. They proved that last night. It was stifling. To hold Washington to 32%.
I thought the announcers were going to go ballistics. It got down to the last minute of the third quarter, and one of the announcers says, I'm not believing they're going to go a whole quarter with nobody scoring.
So, what does a team have to do to stop the Warriors? Come playoff time, the competition gets stiff. It's the top 8 teams.
Okay.
What does a team have to do to stop Golden State?
They have to be on their toes defensively, and they have to stop Curry from making three-point shots. They have to. They have to double-team him. I know that's going to leave somebody else open. I know that's a faux pas. I know that that's something they're not supposed to do. There are several times out on that court last night where he broke away. He did a fast break. He was nobody around. You give him the opportunity, he's going to shoot. I mean, come on. He's going to shoot. They need to keep working on their defense. Obviously, their defense is a lot stronger. The spotlight has been on the three-point shots for so long since the season began. And we have to play tight. Whoever the team is, they have to, in the playoffs, they have to play tighter in the paint. They have to play tighter in the paint.
Here's what you do to stop Golden State, and it's gonna sound elementary. It's gonna sound elementary, and it's gonna sound childish, and it's gonna sound playgroundish.
They got to play basketball.
But this is what you got to do to stop Golden State. You have to, number one, as Yvonne said, guard the perimeter. You're not going. There's a common misconception that people go into the game and they say, all right, I got to stop Stephen Curry from making threes. You're not going to stop him from making threes. You are putting yourself in a position to fail. If you go into the game with a mindset that you have to stop him from shooting threes.
Oh, no, I'm saying don't ever leave him by himself.
Slow him down.
Right.
See, when I played basketball, I was not going into a game saying, all right, I got to stop this dude. Because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to set up an unrealistic expectation for myself.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
I know I'm not going to stop this guy, but damn it, I'm going to slow him down. If you can slow him down.
Put yourself in his face and in his way.
Be aggressive. This team does not like contact.
Nope. They don't even like you.
It showed when they played Atlanta. It showed when they played San Antonio. It shows when they play New Orleans. When New Orleans goes inside to Anthony Davis, they do not like contact. If you hit them with contact, they will back off and they will be hesitant, and then they will be more inclined to shoot those three-pointers.
That's when you screw up. That's when you make those wall shots. That's when you throw those air balls and bricks.
Need to be aggressive
and take chances
with Golden State. That's the only way you're going to stop them.
Yeah.
Evan Turner gets a triple-double as Boston beats Brooklyn. Now, this was a big game.
Yeah.
This is a big game. It was an overlooked game. This is basically for a spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
And we both got it wrong.
We both picked Brooklyn.
Yep.
You know what? We were wrong.
Yeah. Well, I was basing it on what they've been doing lately.
And so how important was this win for Boston?
It was very important. But you know what was even more exciting? Was to see the look on Turner's face when he realized what he had done. That was phenomenal. I mean, it was like the sun was shining from within him. He was some excited. I don't know what this does to them statistically.
I know when Evan Turner...
Or from a statistician's point
I know...
of view. You're the one with the stats.
I know that when Evan Turner saw that he had a triple-double at the end of the game, when he saw that on the scoreboard, yeah, he gave a smile.
Oh, yeah.
But I can tell you when he looked to the right of that, to the right of the stats, where it shows the standings in the Eastern Conference, and he saw that Boston won, obviously, which means Brooklyn lost. And on that same night, Charlotte lost to Chicago.
Oh.
Which means he saw Boston's name get moved into 8th. Boston is in the playoffs.
Wow.
Because of this
Not
win.
guaranteed yet.
Well, no, but they're the 8th seed now.
Yeah, we were the 8th seed too for what, 24 hours?
Okay. Boston now has a half-game lead on Charlotte for 8th in the East. This win was massive for the Boston Celtics. Absolutely massive. Because not only did it put them in 8th in the playoffs, it gained confidence. This is in Brooklyn, who's won their last 4, okay? And you blow them out by 19. Blow them out. And mind you...
Lucrative win.
Mind you, Brook Lopez in this game had 31 points. Brook Lopez is playing like Brook Lopez again.
Well, like he knows how to play.
And at the end of the first, Brooklyn was winning by 5.
I know.
And then the rest of the game belonged to Boston. The rest of the game. It gained confidence. It put them in 8th. Evan Turner had a triple-double. It was a massive win for Boston. Now, which one of these teams would be more dangerous in the playoffs?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that because I don't know what either one of them is like in a crunch time, all nerves, backed up against the wall situation.
All you have to do is look at the players on their team.
Then I would have to say Boston.
Really?
Don't you think?
Mm-mm.
Why? Help me out.
You look at a team You look at a team like Boston, and you see guys like Evan Turner, Isaiah Thomas, Marcus Smart. They all got one thing in common: youth. They're young, they're brash, they're good.
Oh yeah, but Mr. Guyette, experience, been there, done that. Boston's been there.
And you're going to tell me Joe Johnson hasn't?
Okay, but Boston has been in this situation.
Not this Boston team.
That's true. I stand corrected. You're right. You're right. I'm thinking of the days of Garnett and Pierce and all them. Yeah, because you will be the first one to say experience.
That's right.
They've got experience.
I know.
Yeah, you're right.
Guys like Darren Williams, guys like Brook Lopez, and most importantly, Joe Johnson, who absolutely last year, it gets really overlooked that in the playoffs was it last year or 2 years ago, that Joe Johnson's Brooklyn Nets took LeBron James's Miami Heat to 7 games.
That was 2 years ago.
Joe Johnson absolutely dominated LeBron James in that series, but LeBron's team won.
Yeah.
Joe Johnson is the X factor for this Brooklyn team if they make the playoffs.
I was thinking of the old Boston team.
They make the playoffs. Now,
where they stand right now?
Brooklyn's in 10th now. But you have to keep in mind, between 8th and 12th, there's 3 games.
Yeah.
So, and we've got a month left.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
How many teams are vying for that spot?
Between 7th and 12th, there are 5.5, 6 games.
Wow.
So anything can change.
Okay.
Everything can change. Paul George is supposed to be coming back this week, which we'll talk about. That's going to change Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I mean...
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a
Speaking of the Eastern Conference playoffs, Chicago. Chicago seals a playoff berth as they beat Charlotte. We're not going to talk about the game. It was a pretty obvious pick from the very beginning that we both picked Chicago right off the bat to beat Charlotte, and they did it.
You know what amazes me, not to cut you off, is that Chicago is doing this like last night. They did it without Derrick Rose, and they did it without Noah.
Mm-hmm. But Butler came back. Jimmy Butler came back in this game.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Chris. Who's more important, Noah or Butler?
Noah or Butler? I would say Jimmy Butler. Because not only can you
You know why? Because you can count on him.
Well, not only that. No, I wouldn't say that. You can count on Joakim Noah. Okay?
Until he gets angry.
In a different way.
His emotions rule his activity on the court.
Joakim Noah is replaceable.
And you've got to admit that his emotions rule his activity on the court. He's a much more emotional player.
Well, of course.
Okay. Yeah, but Butler's all business.
Uh-huh.
Butler's all business.
Uh-huh. But Noah is replaceable. Noah gets in foul trouble. Okay, let's stick Taj Gibson in there.
Well, because they have a bench.
Okay, let's stick Nick Mirotic in there. Nick Mirotic, who had 28 points in this game.
Yeah. Because they have a bench.
Where the hell is Nick Mirotic coming from?
I know.
Okay?
That's like talking about the Spurs bench.
And let's not forget, Pau Gasol. Another double-double last night.
Yeah.
He's up to how many now?
I know.
Come on. Okay?
Yeah.
How tough will Chicago be to beat in the playoffs? How tough will Chicago be to beat in the playoffs, and why?
It depends on who they're up against, and it depends on how healthy the roster is.
Okay, we know that Rose is coming back for the playoffs. Okay? That is solidified.
Okay.
He will be back.
All right. Which brings up a question I've been dying to ask you. How fair is that? That they are saving him? They are saving him, using the excuse that he's not ready yet, and they're saving him just for the playoffs.
So now you're using it as an excuse? Because you're going to be the first person to say don't rush back.
Correct.
Because he is truly injured.
Correct. Unless he's well enough now that he should be playing some minutes.
You had a torn meniscus. Is he well enough right now?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
It was a very, very, very minor surgery.
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
You'll be the first.
I agree. Oh, no. I'm eating my words. I hear you. I agree. But we also saw 2 seasons ago.
Hell, he might come back before the playoffs. But they're
holding on to him just for the playoffs.
Is that smart?
And using that.
Is that smart? Is that not smart? They just clinched a playoff spot last night.
That's sneaky and underhanded.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Then they should play the playoffs without him.
Why? If he benefits the team, you're gonna leave a benefit on the bench?
How fair is that to the other guys? If maybe he could be contributing minutes now so they can stay healthy.
But if you're getting production without him, and you can win these kinds of games
I agree,
without
but you're
him,
putting the other guys at risk.
You put the guys at risk every time you step on the floor. That's a risk you take.
That's true.
Okay?
I just hope that he's not just using this, and the coaching staff is not.
I don't think they
using
are. They gave the playoffs as a date. He could come back before then.
Okay, well, I'll be anxious to see. And how important is this going to be?
Well, no. How tough will Chicago be to beat in the playoffs?
Oh, well,
and why?
if everybody...
We know that Rose will be back, and we know that Noah's going to be back because he just sat out last night because of knee soreness. He's going to be back. Okay? So they're going to have their team. How tough will they be to beat in the playoffs?
If everybody's healthy and everybody's well, they're going to be extremely hard to beat. Extremely.
This was my preseason pick to represent the Eastern Conference
I know
in the
it
finals.
And it can still happen.
And it still is.
Uh-huh.
With or without Derrick Rose.
They stand a much better chance if he's back.
Yes, they do. But they still stand a better chance, I believe, than the likes of Washington, than the likes of Toronto, than the likes of Milwaukee without Derrick Rose. Do they stand a better chance than Cleveland without Derrick Rose? No.
No.
Do they stand a better chance than Atlanta without Derrick Rose?
No.
No, but they're third to me, even without Derrick Rose. And I think with Derrick Rose, I could put them slightly above Cleveland because they've beaten Cleveland this year. Okay? With Derrick Rose. That was the game that he went for 35.
Yeah.
Okay? I put them above Cleveland with Derrick Rose. How tough will they be? Well, damn, they got the best bench in the East. Okay? I think they've got the second best bench in the league behind San Antonio.
I agree.
Okay? And a deep bench. We've talked about it on this show dozens of times.
Yeah.
A deep bench, especially in the playoffs, is A+ important.
Oh, it's monumentally important.
And if you got your leader back, the morale gets lifted, the spirits get lifted, you play better. You're more cohesive.
You know who's the leader now?
Right now it's Pau Gasol.
Absolutely.
Right now it's Pau Gasol.
Absolutely.
I think it's been Gasol all season. I think he's been their best player.
Absolutely.
I think he's been their best player. I don't think there's a doubt about that.
Well, no, but even on the court, watching the game, you can see the guys going up to him.
As he should be. He's the only one with a ring on that team. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
He's the only one with a ring on that team.
And the experience.
That's right.
Yeah.
With the ring comes experience.
Yeah.
That's right. They should be looking up to him.
Yeah. This is something we can agree on. If
Now,
I see Derrick Rose on the cover of one magazine while he's supposed to be healing, my whole opinion's going to change.
Now, how far do you think they'll go and why? How far into the playoffs do you see them going? Truly and honestly. I can see them, with their whole team healthy, in the finals, representing the East. How far do you see them going? Do you see them beating Atlanta? Do you see them beating Cleveland?
With Derrick back and
if they've got their whole team,
yeah.
they're supposed to have their whole team. That's what we're going on
here. Yeah, I can see them going to the finals.
You do. You're with me on that.
Mm-hmm.
I experience, man.
Yeah.
They've been here. This is the team.
I don't know about winning the whole thing, but I see
it's
them in the playoffs.
It's going to be tough to win the whole thing because the West is just... now that will strictly depend upon who they play.
Yeah.
They play Golden State, they're going to smash Golden State. Chicago is physical. They get in your face. They are no nonsense, no bullshit. They are going to destroy Golden State.
Yeah,
I give that series 5 or 6 games.
Golden State's not going to be happy.
Now, they play a team like Portland. They play a team like Houston. They play a team like San Antonio or the Clippers, who like physicality, who like contact. It's going to be a big-time 6 or 7 game series with any of those teams. But... you never know. It's going to be interesting. Paul George to return this week? Well, according to sources, he was supposed to come back last night against Houston, but he was a late scratch. They're saying probably Friday. Yvonne.
And who do they play?
Well,
this comeback game.
Let's see. On Wednesday, they're in Washington.
It's the only game, Indiana and Milwaukee. It's the only game.
No, that's Thursday. Monday, Tuesday. There's like 15 games on Wednesday. Then Thursday, that's the only game.
Oh.
So maybe Friday is wrong. It must be Thursday then.
Well, then you don't have it on here?
They play Sunday at home against Dallas. So it's either Thursday or Sunday. Okay? They're saying he's going to be back. I'll probably see him for Sunday at home. When they're at home, that's when I see him coming back for a home game, not an away game.
They could be the only game for him to come back on Thursday.
Yeah, but they're on the road. I don't see him coming back for a road game.
Oh.
I see him coming back for a home game.
You don't see him traveling.
No, I see him coming back for a home game. And their home game is at home, obviously, on Sunday against Dallas.
Wow. There's a benefit and there's a good side and a bad side.
The first question. Should he come back? Why or why not?
I'm not the doctor. I have no idea. I can't answer that. I know he's itching to come back. I know the team's ready for him to come back. I know that he wants to come back. He's not using his injury as a crutch. I know that. You can tell just from when they interview him. I know how much he is feeling guilty because he's not playing. You can hear it in his demeanor. You can hear it in his tone of voice. Okay? But is the guilt and his responsibility and his loyalty outweighing his common sense? If he's covering up the fact that he's hurt, he's sore, he's not ready, he knows it in here, but his heart's telling him something different, he's going to get re-injured and be out for the rest of the season and maybe ruin his career. And that was a mouthful, I know. But nobody knows this better than him. The doctors can check him out all they want. If he's not honest with them, he's going to hurt himself.
Yeah, it was a mouthful, but it was a mouthful that I think 100% of the nation can agree with. It's a risk, okay?
I mean, he didn't just have a little toast
to come back at all is a risk.
Yeah.
To step on the basketball court again in your life is a risk with the broken leg that he had. Thank God it was a clean break. Okay? As nasty as it looked, it was a clean break. Thank God. Because if it wouldn't have been, we would never see Paul George again.
No.
Okay?
I agree.
And I would be devastated.
I agree.
But should he come back?
I have a question for you before you answer that. If they can hold Derrick Rose out for a very microscopic meniscus repair, not even a tear, okay, and hold him till the playoffs, why is Paul George coming back so fast?
Okay, but maybe that's not Derrick Rose's doing. Maybe Derrick Rose is not the one saying, no, I need to sit out till the playoffs. Maybe Chicago is saying, no, you need to sit out till the playoffs.
Good point.
Maybe it's not Derrick Rose's doing.
Good point. Well taken.
Okay? There are only two people in the world that know if Paul George should come back.
Him and the man upstairs.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is right on point.
Yeah.
Paul George and God are the only ones that know if Paul George should come back.
And he's crazy if he comes back too fast.
Let me make this very clear. I think I can sum this up.
He can end his career.
I think I can sum this up for both of us by saying this. Paul, if you know
that you're not ready,
that you are 100% ready, come back. If you are 99.9% positive that you are ready, do not come back.
Right.
If there is even the slightest doubt
or hesitancy
or hesitation
in
your mind, do not come back. You are risking your career. You are risking your livelihood.
Right.
Because a broken leg again will put you in a wheelchair for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
This is risky business. I know it's what you love to do. Thank God you're young.
Yeah.
Because if you would have been in your 30s, we'd be talking a whole different ball game here.
What do the coaches have to say about all this?
Frank Vogel, look, that's a good point. I think we need to give Frank Vogel, Indiana head coach Frank Vogel, an extreme amount of credit for not rushing Paul George back. Because we've talked about it dozens of times.
We can talk about a list of coaches that would have been, he would already have been playing. That would be pushing him.
We have talked about it a couple of times that Frank Vogel, there have been some quotes on here that Paul will come back when he's ready. We are not going to rush Paul back. I have to commend Frank Vogel on a job well done. He has been handling this well, and they're still ninth in the East.
Yeah.
Okay, even without Paul George.
Thank God they're in the East.
Okay. Paul, don't risk your life.
No.
That's if you're 100% sure that you're ready, come back. I'm ready for you. The nation's ready for you.
Because you can sit with a doctor in front of you. I know I've been there. And you can pretend that it's not hurting, and the x-rays can look good. The MRIs can be clean.
But if you're hurting, you're hurting.
But if you're hurting, or you walking the floor at night with leg cramps, or you realize that it's a lot more sore than you're letting on, you're not fooling anybody but yourself.
That's right. That's right. Now, if and when he does come back, how much better is Indiana?
If he's 100%, awesome. Awesome. I'm concerned with how much practice time they're going to have with him.
Oh, he's been practicing.
He's been practicing on a regular basis. Because once you get out of that habit
let me say this.
working with that person on the floor.
Let me say this.
How many minutes has he been practicing? What are they
he's been practicing full with the team.
Full?
And I've seen highlights of it.
Go ahead. That's going to sound so good. Go ahead.
I've seen highlights of it. He does not look hesitant at all.
Okay.
Okay. He's shooting the ball. He's shooting the ball like he used to. He's dunking. He's doing layups. His free throw form is exactly the same.
Okay.
He's bending the legs. He's stretching out well. He's not hobbling. He's not hesitating. He's not favoring. He looks good. He looks like Paul George. And credit the doctors, too, on a job well done with the surgery.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, and the rehabilitation and all of that stuff.
When did this break take place?
This was during USA Basketball in the scrimmage game. It was white versus blue. And Paul went up for the layup, and his leg got caught under the goal.
Yeah,
it was a scrimmage game.
I remember how it happened. I just don't remember.
It was an exhibition game. It didn't even count.
I know that. I'm talking about time frame. How long has it been?
About a year.
Okay.
If he does come back, this Indiana team makes a run for the title. And I'm not joking. That is how much Paul George means to this team. Not only do they make a run for the playoffs, they make a run for the title. Because Paul George...
But he cannot come back and go balls to the wall.
Well, no, he's going to have to start sporadically.
He's going to have to ease himself in.
And I think Frank Vogel will do that.
Okay.
But if he does come back on Friday, on Sunday, plays limited minutes, keeps playing limited minutes.
You're going to have a fit if he's back on Thursday.
By the time... hey, come back Thursday if you're ready.
It's the only game, but it's away.
If, by the time the playoffs come, he's going to be fully ready to start.
Now, is he more prepared to play against Milwaukee on Thursday or Dallas on Friday?
I'd wait till Sunday. I would wait till Sunday. It's a home game. You know you're going to be met with a good ovation. There's going to be a good atmosphere. You're not going to have as many butterflies in your stomach as you would of a road game. I'd wait till Sunday. Plus, it gives you another 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I would wait till Sunday.
Well, we'll have to see.
As a fan, as an analyst, as a basketball lover, cannot wait for this guy to come back. I cannot wait.
I just hope he's kind to himself, listens to his body, and does what he knows he needs to do.
Russell Westbrook has his 10th triple-double of the season taken away. They looked back yesterday. They were required to go back and look at highlights.
I would like for you to start this next debate topic by saying what you said again. Russell Westbrook has his
10th triple-double.
10th. Wearing a plastic face mask with 4 rubber band straps that go around his head that makes him look like Jason from Halloween. How he can play with that on.
They're required. Well, Kareem did it his whole career.
His whole face? No, Russell's face is
Oh, yeah,
covered.
it's up to here. Yeah.
Because it's his cheekbone that got collapsed.
Yeah. They went back and they looked at the highlights and they said he didn't have a 10th rebound. He only had 9 rebounds. They took away a rebound. Therefore, he doesn't have a 10th triple-double. He's still got 9 on the season.
Okay.
It's been made a big deal. By the media, by fans.
Why? Why? He's still got 9.
Your thoughts?
Why? Why are they making a big deal out of it? Is Russell making a big deal out of it?
No, Russell's not. Russell never makes a big deal about anything.
Then it's the media. The media needs to shut up.
You don't find this terrible?
I think it's horrible. But what are you going to do about it?
Fire the statistician that was hired to do this game.
Oh, for making the bad call in the first, for not catching it when it happened?
This is a travesty.
Oh, I agree.
You know, a triple-double is a little bit of a big deal.
Absolutely.
A little bit. Now, he's probably going to get a triple-double in the next game he plays.
Probably so.
But this statistician needs to be fired. Because if you go back and look at the highlight that this guy was looking at, it's pretty clear that Westbrook didn't get that rebound. I watched it. It's pretty damn clear that Westbrook didn't get the rebound.
You want me to tell you what this is going to do?
Well, it's going to make Westbrook go off for 55.
Absolutely.
I know. I know exactly what it's going to do.
It's going to piss him off just long enough.
But this is a travesty.
It absolutely is. But you know what? The worst thing he can possibly do? Let this mess with his head.
It's not. It's not, but it's messing with my head. Because this is my MVP right now.
I think so too.
Okay? And
even though we both don't think he's going to get it.
Well, I know he's not going to get it. I know he's not going to get it.
That's going to be the biggest, gravest injustice.
And we will talk about that
ever.
Pretty much last in the debate is what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
But this is a travesty, man.
Well, that's what this guy's hired to do. He didn't do his job.
This is a travesty. This would have been Westbrook's 10th triple-double. I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it.
That's his only job.
Right, that's my point.
Is to look at film.
Well, no. You look at it. There is a statistician. All these stats
I know.
He does that while it's happening.
And if there's a doubt, they replay it and look at it again.
It's pretty clear
That's
to see.
what the whole replay center is for.
It is pretty clear to see what person gets
went
a
up
rebound.
for the rebound. Right.
That's about the clear-cut thing in a basketball game.
Right.
Besides the person who scored.
Right.
That is so clear-cut.
Right. It's not like there's 4 or 5 of them rumbling around on the gym floor and you're trying to
Did he do this on purpose? Right. No, he didn't do it on purpose. But this is your only job, man.
Yep.
And now, there's been this big media hype that Westbrook got his 10th triple-double of the season. But wait. No, he didn't have his 10th triple-double. He only had 9 rebounds. That's a travesty to me.
I agree.
That's a travesty. Come on.
I know.
Part 1 ends here. Part 2, starting with a solemn topic, comes at you next.